just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. Welcome on in to our coverage of the top 25, AP Top 25 week. What week is this? We're going into we just finished week number 4, so this is the week 4 rankings here. As you see, 3 new teams into the top 25. Of course, after a crazy week in college football. Big Ten and SEC now, both with 6 teams in the top 25. Michigan State rejoins the party. Michigan, of course, dropping all the way down to 20. But bright side for the Big Ten is that Wisconsin is up to number 8 in the nation, leapfrogging teams like Notre Dame and Florida and Texas for that big time spot. And I believe Wisconsin is that good. Wisconsin, of course, gets Ohio State later in the season in Columbus, Ohio. That's going to be a good one. They don't play every year, but this year they get to play, and it's going to be a good one, of course. Reminder, Saturday, 10 a.m. Central Time on SN. We got SN College Football today. Oh, look at the big games coming up this week, which includes number 21 USC taking on number 17 Washington. That's Saturday on Fox. Is that our only top 25 matchup of the week? Might be. Trying to check here, but it looks like that's our only top 25 matchup. We might have had one had Washington State not coughed it up against UCLA. Washington State takes on number 19 Utah on FS1. The Pac-12 now, much of their teams very low in the rankings. You see the highest ranked Pac-12 team, number 13 Oregon. Next highest would be Cal is actually the next highest at number 15. Then we've got Washington and Utah and USC. So yeah, Oregon, Cal, Wash, Utah, USC. They make up 5 teams out of the Pac-12. 3 teams out of the Big 12. And 2 teams out of the ACC. As well as 1 team from the American, 1 independent, and Boise State out of the Mountain West. UCF still ranked after a loss to Pittsburgh. It wasn't a big loss. They are now number 22 in the nation. They're now in, I guess I would say, second place for that berth in a New Year's Six Bowl, which goes to the highest ranked Group of 5 team, conference champion at the end of the year. Must be a conference champion. That UCF game does not count towards their division championship, as it is a non-conference game against Pittsburgh. But of course, it does impact the ranking. So if Boise State runs the table, they would likely get that bid over Central Florida as an unbeaten. I mean, Boise State didn't just play like UL Monroe or Rice all season. They beat, I want to say they beat just a few Pac-12 teams. I'm not going to tell you that they beat like the best teams, but Boise State, their resume, they beat Florida State, which it's not the greatest of wins, but that's really the only game that they have that they've won. I mean, they still get BYU, which looks to be a quality team. But other than that, they're going to have to run the table. They did beat Florida State, which is a good win. They didn't play any Pac-12 teams, it looks like here. But I mean, I would take Boise State as a 13-0 conference champion over a 12-1 UCF team, even though UCF is playing in a better conference. And They did play Stanford, which I would say. But you got to take into account that Boise State did travel to Doak Campbell to play the game. And I mean, the American seems to be slightly down this year. We're not going to talk too much about this, as it's not like the end of the world here about somebody being ranked, somebody not being ranked. We just only have one top 25 matchup this week. But there's a few other games there's actually two. I mistakenly forgot about Virginia Notre Dame, which is going to be on NBC in that same window. Virginia and Notre Dame. It's going to be on NBC. At the same time. So, yeah. You don't want to miss that one. Yeah, what else we got here in the top 25? Reaction here. I mean, once we get to the college football playoff poll, we're gonna have reactions live. So it's gonna be a lot more exciting. And I mean, stupidity. What the flip? So yeah, once we get to the real playoff rankings, we're gonna go live. We're gonna have it all for you. I think. I mean, maybe not the first week of the playoff rankings, but definitely starting October 29th, we're going to try to bring it to you live in prime time at about, I think they do it at 7 Eastern, so we will be there live on SN, breaking down the playoff rankings. Of course, another thing that happened, Ohio State leapfrogging Oklahoma. I like that because Ohio State is better than Oklahoma, defensively at least, because Ohio State's dominant, man. Oklahoma, I mean, they're probably gonna run the table. Maybe not. Maybe Texas is gonna give them fits again in the showdown. The showdown that happens in a few weeks on Big Noon Saturday. I mean, but we look at the landscape. Wisconsin, a tough schedule. I mean, to play Michigan and Ohio State. I don't remember if there are other crossover, but it probably is like Indiana or something like that. But this is a quality team. If they're going to beat Michigan like that, maybe they'll give Ohio State a run for their money. I mean, but teams in the Big Ten West got to be watching out if they're going to do that to a team like them. And the other crossover that they have is Michigan State. So they're playing 3 of the top 4 teams in the Big Ten East on a crossover. So if we look at this, they have the 20th toughest schedule according to Phil Steele, which I don't agree with because this is a very tough schedule that they're playing. Wisconsin absolutely killed USF, which, quite frankly, has actually been decent in the past. They aren't that good this year, however. They beat Central Michigan 61-0. Michigan historically been good. They get Northwestern. But keep in mind, I think at least 2 of their defensive starters can be out for the first half with targeting fouls. And that could be key to maybe Northwestern getting a spark early. But we know that Wisconsin's going to take control. And this is a home game for Wisconsin. Wisconsin, just that one road game at USF until Saturday, October. Whoa. Until Saturday, October 19th. That is their first road game after, other than the opener at USF. So they got the off week, September 14th. Then they got Michigan, Northwestern, Kent State, and then Michigan State. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 consecutive home games for Wisconsin. Now that does mean that they're going to have to go on the road 2 straight at Illinois. That should not be a problem. Then at Ohio State. Then they get the off week. Then they get Iowa at home. Then they get at Nebraska, Purdue at home, at Minnesota. So they end up with just 4 conference road games. But the 4 conference road games are not. 2 of them can be tough in Lincoln, in Columbus, for sure. Can't say so much for at Illinois and at Minnesota. But of course, Minnesota beat them last year, I think. Beat Wisconsin last year. Put Wisconsin in a tough bowl, like a bowl that they didn't want to be in. And I think this is Wisconsin's season to get to the Big Ten championship. Last year, it was Northwestern, but historically, since the divisions were split how they are, Wisconsin has been very successful in the Big Ten West. Iowa did get it 1 year, and that was a quality football game between Iowa and Wisconsin. That was the only year that really a Big Ten West team has been vying for a college football playoff berth. Maybe there was 1 year that Wisconsin was right there. But we are going to have to leave it there because of time constraints. We'll see you guys next week for more Top 25.